StarCraft 2 is chasing the void. What once was a little seed has grown into a glorious tree of savior, and I am totally ready to be a god. This is MMO-Play Dailies. What's up, everybody? Welcome to MMO-Play Dailies, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know in the MMO universe. My name is The Higgs. We have a bunch of really awesome betas to talk about today. Let's jump in. Well, you guys know how I feel about dev diaries. You could really just put a bunch of MMO developers around a turd and have them talk about it, and I'd probably find it interesting. Luckily, we have a dev diary that is not that. It is, however, a discussion about the nature of warfare. Dev diary is for a game called Armored Warfare. It's a tank military game, and it's really interesting because the conversation that gets brought up is the nature of ammunition versus armor, and how those two things are constantly in a race to outdo each other. Like if person A starts throwing mud at person B is gonna grab cardboard to block it. So person A is going to start throwing rocks, and then person B is gonna get a little sheet of aluminum to block it. And then person A is gonna start shooting arrows, and person B is gonna have to get a thick oaken shield to block it. And this whole idea about ammunition constantly having to evolve to penetrate armor, and armor constantly having to evolve to ward off from ammunition, it was really fascinating. And this is beyond just a conversation. This is actually tying into their game, as now there are multiple sorts of ammunition and armor that you can play with and get to sort of experience this joint race toward death firsthand. Well, Blizzard just will not stop dropping the news on us. I feel like BlizzCon this year is going to be massive. It was one of those years where originally I was like, who would go to that? There's nothing going on. Now with Heroes of the Storm in beta and everybody loving it, with Diablo 3 being opened up completely free in China, not to mention this is probably a good year for another World of Warcraft expansion announcement, and they've got the movie which is releasing in 2016, I believe, in March. So this is a perfect time to show off a first full cinematic trailer for that. Hearthstone's got BlackRock coming. There's just so much Blizzard crap happening. And now the StarCraft franchise is jumping in on that action with their latest expansion, Legacy of the Void. So this is the third and final StarCraft 2 expansion, and it has got a whole lot of new features in it. All of these features, in addition to all the ones that we saw at BlizzCon last year, are now in beta. People are testing them out, so we can expect to start seeing some news trickle out about how this latest expansion looks. If you want a full detailing of everything going on in the expansion, there's a video that's like a nice sort of snapshot of the big highlights, and then an accompanying dev blog that has really everything you need to know, and you can find both of those via the links in the description below. Tree of Savior! Tree of Savior is a very, very much anticipated game from a lot of my friends. And it is a sort of closed development process. Not a whole lot of news been coming out for this one. We've all been looking forward to see when the next significant date will be. And now we know, and that date is April 21st. For 5 days, starting April 21st, the closed beta is going to begin on this game with 10,000 invites going out. Registration begins on April 13th, so if you want to be one of the 10,000, check out the links in the description below to find out how. Warface has got a new domination mode in which you basically vie for control of 3 points. This new mode will be on the Sub-Zero map, which takes place in the frozen solid Siberian mountains. And the domination mode looks pretty good. They're also putting in a marathon survival mode that looks pretty insane. I actually don't have a lot to say about this other than that Warface is probably the best name for any MMO ever. There are probably somewhere in the neighborhood of 3 to 5 games in 2015 that I'm pretty sure are just gonna blow my face off. I actually did a top 10 countdown for MMO-Play, which you can check out at this link right here, which is my top 10 MMOs I'm looking forward to in 2015 in general. And one that has crept onto that list in the time since I filmed it is Skyforge. Skyforge looks all kinds of awesome. They've been revealing tons of content in the recent weeks. We've got all their classes now. They've answered questions about financing. It's a very open, transparent process for them. Now we have a new cinematic trailer that just looks insane and delicious. I mean, look at that. That looks so cool. And we also know that we are going to have the chance to become gods ourselves in an open beta as early as this summer. Now, this is just for North America and Europe, and if you are interested in joining up for this beta, please check out the links in the description below. Now it's time for today's daily shout out. Let's start today with the subscriber shout out. These are people who have subscribed to MMO-Play within the last 24 hours. If you want to be on this list, subscribe. That's all you got to do. Click a subscribe and I will read your name. Not really live on the air, not really the air, tomorrow, maybe. Today's awesome subscribers are David Rose, XX Zombie Hunter 0802 XX, Grebtron, Juan Suarez, Matsukun, Euron Chambers, Rosa Castro, Chris Donnell Gibson, that's a hard name, Chris Donnell, Diego Gill, or maybe Jill, Gavin DeGongi, or maybe DeJonji, Johnny Tharp, or Tarp, Jose Carlos, and Rajak. So there you go. If you'd like your name to be mutilated by me in front of all these people, please do subscribe to the channel. Today's comment comes in response to yesterday's video in which I basically asked the question, why do all racing MMOs suck? I got an answer, and it's from user Man Behind the Wires. He or she says, hey now, with the blanket racing MMO bashing, exclamation point. The crew ain't too shabby, exclamation point. Also excited for WOS. Team play stuff looks great. Well, it's pretty rare that I apologize for anything. I mean, that time I watched that guy drown without helping, I didn't do anything but tell Phil Collins about it. But today, I'm going to apologize to you, Man Behind the Wires. But I feel like the apology is enough. I feel like you need a little more. So today, I'm going to show you all a little PSA, we'll call it, that I put together that's just sort of a confession. It'll just expose a part of my soul to you that maybe you didn't know about before, and it's my way of sort of making a recompense for this outward bashing. After this is going to be the end of the video, so please do like this video, subscribe to this channel, leave a comment for a chance to be included in tomorrow's comment shout out. I've been the Hicks from MMO-Play.com. I'll see you guys tomorrow, and I hope you enjoy the PSA. Hi. My name is The Higgs. I'm the host of a daily show that covers MMO news called MMO-Play Dailies. And it's a lot harder than I thought it would be. I play priest DPS. Look, I know when people think priest, they don't think DPS. My wife, she doesn't play video games at all, and when I tell her I play a priest, she's like, oh, so you heal people? And I have to explain to her that no, there's a lot of games where priests can also damage people. She actually asked me for a divorce last month. She said she loved me and she wanted to understand my alternative lifestyle, but try as she might, she just couldn't figure out why someone would want to play a priest DPS. And that's when I made the decision that I had to speak out, that it's time for us priest DPS players to no longer be in the shadows, even though we might use the shadows to deal damage. It's time for us to come out, find one another, embrace one another, and say, it's okay. It is okay to play priest DPS. Look, I'm not alone here. There are plenty of people in the world who play priest DPS, and I want you to hear from a few of them for the sake of anonymity and because this is such a hot topic. People don't understand it. They have asked that their faces be blurred and their names be changed. So here's some other priest DPS players that I hope you'll listen to and take their words to heart. Well, it all started with the moon. I saw the moon and I wanted to throw a lasso around it. So I thought if only I played a class in a game that could use dark energy to throw a lasso around the moon, I would play that class for sure. And then I started playing the game, and I saw this priest class, and I thought, well, they look like they could throw a lasso around the moon, and I decided that that would be the character that I would play. Yeah. McCarthy came along, and you know, I lost the ability to act because they found out that I was playing a priest's GPS. I found myself up on top of a bridge, and I thought I might jump off this bridge. I don't know if I could take this anymore. And luckily, a friend of mine named Clarence showed up, and he talked me off. And ever since that, I've been playing a mage. But I was sorry. I just been playing a priest so much. Was back, I saw the priest. He was walking up to me. Yeah, I started playing the priest back when I was just in 7th grade. And I immediately started doing that damage. People used to say I couldn't
understand me when I spoke, so I thought I'll play a class about understands the people. Nobody understands. Nobody understands me.
And there you have it. So many of us have been victims of hatred and vitriol that there's now a term for it. Priest DPS discrimination. Tweet at hashtag priest DPS discrimination and tell us your story. If enough of us band together, maybe people will stop asking us the question, why don't you play a mage? I'm the Higgs from MMO-Play Dailies. I love you. I'll be thinking about you. Leave a tooth under your pillow tonight. I'll be watching you from the bushes. Goodbye.